Hey everyone, welcome back to the realm. I'm Gina.
I'm still Rich.
I'm still Rob.
There's still everybody's the same. Should I start saying that? I'm still Gina. Then I can feel
I panicked.
Well, we are back with another episode of Weird Weekly News for our Wednesday episode. So we are coming armed with some weird news stories. It can be paranormal, could be it's just anything weird.
So if you run into a person and they're really weird, does that qualify if you bring them up in the story? Or
if you write a news story about them, you could be the journalist. It's not just a weird story. It could be a story you have to tell. It doesn't matter. We just want all the weird stories, and we're going to share that.
Listen here, sister. You don't have time for my weird stories. Let me tell you.
We are the only news that matters in this crazy ass world. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
So, having said that, we come armed with our news articles. We blind react to it, tell each other the stories, and we post it for you guys to listen to. And we will include links to in the show notes to where you can find these stories. So, without any further ado, was it without further ado? I don't know. Somebody write it.
Without further ado.
I think, because sometimes I just add too many words. I'm a wordy person. Rob knows this.
See.
No argument. He's like, "Yep."
these guys are weekly victims of my knowledge. It's just multiple. One of those people. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to let the wheel of names do its work here. Okay.
Oh, the scary wheel.
Multiple times.
The scary wheel of names.
Make it interesting. Whoever name it lands on, that's who's going to go first. So here we go.
Oh. Shocking.
And it is Rich that is going to go first. Oh,
look at the confetti. I'm a winner.
Do you ever play the lottery?
No, I don't.
That's one thing I don't do.
Yeah, I mean, I've played it a couple times, but I'm not a big lottery person. I do gamble, but I'm not I don't usually do the lottery. I'm more of go to the casino and do that type of thing. But lottery, not too much.
I should play. You got to play to win, though.
Yes, and I agree with that theory 100%. You can't win if you don't play. I get it. So I don't complain when I don't win the lottery. I'm not one of those people that bitches and moans about I never win the lottery. I don't do that because I don't play it. So I
don't win the lottery. I am one of those people. I want to win the lottery.
I'm not sure, Rob, that the wheel of names carries over to the lottery, but
it might. It might. You're pretty lucky. So
yeah,
it can hurt. You probably spent $2 on more foolish stuff than that before. So
you know me well. You know me well.
Yes, I have. What do you got for us this week?
Well, my first story comes from the Associated Press. I don't know if anybody has been following the stories out of California about how bad the roads are there, and it kind of goes across the country. Everywhere the roads are bad. Why is Rob laughing?
Because
was this your story, Rob?
Almost.
That's okay.
Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator himself, figured he'd be a gentleman and a scholar and take it upon himself to go out and fill in a giant pothole because the city was not doing their job. So he went out and made sure that everybody had a camera, and he went out and showed himself patching this hole in the ground because he's a good guy. Turns out it wasn't a pothole that he filled in. It was a trench that had been intentionally dug for utility work. So the Public Works said in a statement, "We have notified the gas company of the issue and the need for them to maintain the site pavement until their permanent paving is constructed." Turns out with all the rains they have there, obviously the roads have turned into a disaster. We know that around here. The roads aren't good anywhere.
Right.
But, Schwarzenegger being, he was former governor, took it upon himself with a film crew to go out and take some asphalt patch and patch this hole because people in the neighborhood were upset. Yeah, the people in the neighborhood were upset And he figures, hey, these people are driving their cars and bikes through here for weeks, popping tires. Nobody's coming out to fix it. They've been complaining. So he goes, okay, here, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do a good deed. Well, like I said, it turned out that it was a hole that was dug intentionally for utility work, and they had put some temporary gravel over it. Like you've seen it before, where they dig a hole and then they put gravel over it, they throw a steel patch over it, a plate for people to drive over it, whatever the case may be. So actually, it's has a good ending because he did most of the work for them. All they had to do was go back out after the fact and smooth it out and make it look a little bit nicer than he did. But he really didn't fill in a pothole as he thought to help the neighborhood. He was just doing the public works job for them.
Yeah. Well, my question is like, did he not call public works before? I mean, did he think just because he was governor before, like because he's Arnold, that he can like?
Apparently not. And if you look at the picture that I'll post the picture with the story when we do it. You could tell it's not a pothole. You could clearly see it looks like it was
rectangle.
Yeah,
it's like 3 foot rectangle, 3 foot by a foot or something.
I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Looks like maybe from people running over it, maybe it broke apart a little bit, but you could clearly tell it's not a pothole. You could clearly tell that it was something that was intentionally put there. So,
I mean, the thing is like it could have been as easy as a simple call to the city, like, "Hey, can you guys come put something up so we don't hit it?" Like maybe put like.
Well, they said they did that. They said that they were contacting people and nobody did anything about it. So that's why he figured he would be, the good Samaritan, go out there and, how much of a publicity stunt that was, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he's running for any type of political office anymore. And you don't hear much from him anymore other than every now and then he pops up in a story somewhere. But, he's the Terminator.
Terminate those potholes.
He was terminating them potholes.
It's not a pothole.
It's not a pothole. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, that's a good one. I
love it.
Okay. Let me share my screen for the next. It's down to Rob and I. Let's see what happens here.
You could just flip a quarter.
Oh, we're doing the wheel of names because I hope it's you so that you can see the confetti this time. Because last time
I got robbed.
Yeah, you did. You got robbed. You got robbed. No pun intended. Let's see what happens here. Please be robbed so he can get the confetti.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow.
Oh, I got robbed.
You got robbed again.
Got robbed again. All right. So I'm still down to the wire of like, which story do I want to start off with? Because I feel like I have a few good ones. And I think that now I'm just going to start off with the Kentucky meat shower.
Ew.
Have you ever heard of this?
No, but you already.
Is that?
No, I did hear about this. It happened a long dog time ago, right?
Yes, it did. So
I thought that was a musical in South Milwaukee.
It might have been at one time. I could make it happen.
Make it rain.
So I found a few articles on this, and I found one in particular that I really liked how the first part of it was painted and written. So out of it's wonderopolis.org. I'm not sure of the validity of this website as far as like, do they put out great stuff or do they not? So I can't vouch for the website, but I can vouch for the story that it matched up with all the other stories that I found doing my research. So I looked up about 7 different articles. Some of it was, done through Wikipedia, which they do their homework. So I was happy with this.
Okay.
But it says, imagine you're walking along on an old dirt road on a cool spring day. The sun is out, the sky is clear, and the air is crisp. There's a slight breeze, but no heavy wind. And suddenly something starts to fall from the sky. What is it? You might expect rain, maybe even light snow, although it's not very cold. But quickly you realize today's precipitation is out of the ordinary. It isn't rain or even snow. It's meat. So it was meat falling from the sky.
Was it meatballs?
No, so it says it may
Mammoth
sound
meatballs?
no, it's not cloudy with meatballs. This was like real live meat, and it was squares of it. So here it goes. So on March 3rd, 1876, a woman by the name of Mary Crouch of Olympia Springs, Kentucky, she was outside making soap, as the story goes. Suddenly, all around her, meat was falling from the sky. Later, Crouch would say that the chunks of meat were about the size of a large snowflake. So other stories that I saw had said that it was like, basically like 2-inch chunks of meat. Some said that there was sizes even as large as 4 inches or 10 centimeters long. So in the coming days, many neighbors stopped by to see the result of the meat shower for themselves. One named Harrison Gill later reported that the meat was everywhere on the farm. It hung from fences and lay all over the ground. And people quickly went about to try to figure out what the meat was and where it came from. Now, I don't know if this is like, the story grows bigger over time, if it was really
Right.
like all over this farm or if it was just a select area, because there was a couple different discrepancies with this
Where
part.
was this again? You said Kentucky?
It's in Kentucky. Yeah, Olympia Springs, Kentucky.
Okay.
So one local hunter inspected the meat and said that it came from a bear. And 2 of Crouch's neighbors decided that they were going to let their taste buds, as the story says, guide them. Yes, they ate some of the meat that had fallen from the sky.
It's like catching snowflakes.
Like, imagine.
Take out your tongue and.
All I can think of is that song that Barney would sing, like on his show, like fall the snowflakes for candy bars and milkshakes. You know that song from Barney?
No, but keep singing.
Okay, listeners, you've heard it all now. We are
That's the
singing
second
Barney.
song. That's the second song today. So it's like a musical. I love it.
I did sing when we started, but because part of the song goes, it's like standing outside with our mouths open wide. It's like really the song they sing. So as I'm reading these stories, that's all I can think of is like Barney doing this song. So anyway, so the 2 people that decided they were going to eat this strange meat said it tasted like venison or mutton. They actually ended up sending samples of the meat off for testing. And early on, one of the scientists believed the substance to be Gnostic, which is like a bacteria. And how they were describing is like if this bacteria is like floating in the sky or whatever, and water is introduced to it, it kind of turns to like a jelly-like substance. But the problem is there was no like precipitation in the sky that day. So that was kind of thought to be like, that doesn't really make sense. Then there's like another study that was done and by like 2 other doctors, and they said that they thought it was cartilage and lung tissue, and muscle tissue was also found in samples. And some of them, they said, could either belong to horse or even humans. One of the stories even said that one of the scientists said that it was similar to what is found inside of the lungs of babies. Like how you could get that specific in the late 1800s, I don't know.
Especially in that time frame. I mean, in that era. I mean,
Right.
How are they? Yeah.
I don't know,
Right,
but
like they actually have some kind of department that works for the city that they can send these samples to.
I know there were scientists. I know there were scientists at the time.
Oh, sure.
Sent way far. I don't know where it got sent, but apparently, the final observation led them to believe that it came from either a horse or a human being. That was the final conclusion.
Okay.
Because I guess the tissue that would be found in a specific part of the horse and this part of a human is so similar that it's, I guess, hard to tell them apart without maybe DNA testing. So back in the day, they could only do visual comparisons under microscope and so forth. So that's what they deemed it. But they did confirm that it was meat. And everybody's like, why did it fall from the sky? So there was a lot of people that hypothesized about it over time. And what ended up happening is what they've kind of come to the conclusion, even modern day scientists kind of came to the conclusion that it was actually vultures regurgitating what they had eaten. So what ends up happening is apparently it's kind of like, have you ever been around anybody that's been like gagging or throwing up and then you start gagging and then the next person starts gagging and it just creates a big mess? Like maybe not by your faces that you've not ever experienced.
I'm just wondering how many vultures they had in one
Right,
spot
like
at
how
one
big is
time.
a flock of vultures?
So
I mean,
Like
that's
how big is that?
Yeah.
They said that there was probably a flock of vultures, where one like threw up, and then the rest of them regurgitated, and they all just regurgitated at the same time, because apparently the phenomenon has happened elsewhere in the world, not often, but it has happened, and it was
And that's what it was.
only isolated area. So I don't know if there was really so much meat that it was just hanging from everywhere, like it said on the farm.
Right.
That's
Right.
that was my image in my head.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like
So
scary.
Right. If you put,
yeah, so
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this meat shower happened in Kentucky, and they believe that it was vomiting vultures.
Well, that
So-
was a very weird story. I applaud you on that one because you got me.
I do want to add this.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
So it is not a flock of vultures. It
what's
is
it
a
called?
kettle. It is a kettle of vultures.
Oh. Oh, it's usually a flock of seagulls, I believe.
Right, that is correct.
A
And they
kettle
run.
of
They don't
vultures.
fly.
they,
They run.
they run away. Yeah. Once
you know
again,
what?
more musical stuff.
But here I'm gonna do this just for Rob, just because I really I want him to like
Yes.
experience this. So here, we're gonna spin this wheel for Rob, because you know what? He deserves to win too.
Absolutely.
So all right, we're spinning the wheel. Who's it gonna
Here's
land on?
my big day.
Who's it gonna land on?
Right on the line.
Oh no way!
Oh, wow. Nice.
Holy cow. And just as what we were talking about, seagulls running away in flocks of birds. My story is about an emu.
An emu.
Yes.
Is that like ostrich?
Yes, an emu is like an ostrich. And in my research for this story, I did learn that emus are one of the top 6 most dangerous birds in the world.
Ooh.
And this is relevant
Okay.
because I'm not going to say it right. Cassowaries, and ostriches. The toe claws of emus are capable of eviscerating animals under the right conditions. However, human fatalities are extremely rare. Although with this cassowary, they have been known to kill humans and are considered to be like the most dangerous bird.
Wow.
Right. Right.
So they use their claws?
Yeah. They'll disembowel you just because you're going to like you.
Wow.
So in Tennessee, earlier this month, actually like a week ago, we have a guy, Harry McKinley in Tennessee, whose family keeps 2 emus, Mimu and Mimi.
Maybe.
I think it's Rowan County. They're doing construction over there. It spooked one of the Mimu. It spooked Mimu, jumped a 7-foot fence.
Mimu the emu.
Right. Because I was always told you don't keep animals' names similar or rhyming, because then they can't tell who's who. Like, do they really know anyways? But maybe emus are smarter than cats or dogs. So regardless, this emu the police were dispatched, and on a low speed chase with speeds clocked, they clocked the emu at up to 40 miles an hour.
Wow.
Right. So
that is not a slow speed chase.
Its slow speed was moving about 20, but up to speeds of 40. Right. A flightless bird, right? So they just run. Doesn't really say how long this chase went, but even though they did extend once they captured it in town, they surrounded it. The owner was called. He brought the emu back safely. Mimu was home with Mimi. and escaped the next day, even though the fence was made a foot or two taller.
Escaped again?
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, it sounds like, it's this low speed change up to 40 miles an hour.
That's pretty good.
That could cut you into pieces. Could be dangerous. And I think they have shock collars for emus. Because Tennessee is very, very dangerous lately. And,
and now they got an emu problem?
Right. But the citizens found this to be so amusing, and they found it to be very lighthearted. And what they needed, they needed this kind of laugh to alleviate some of the issues that have been, the pain that's been going on within that community. Nonetheless, I don't think any of them researched how dangerous emus were. I did my due diligence and my homework just to verify and put a whole new level of danger on this story.
I'm gonna watch out
Do
for
not take emus lightly. Well, there's some video. There's some video footage of it running down the street. That low speed chase. It does remind me a lot of O.J. Simpson.
I was gonna say, was it like an OJ thing?
Right. Yeah. They're both just as dangerous.
They'll both disembowel you with.
That's correct.
With the toenail.
Is that too soon? Still, is it too soon?
I mean, I just can't believe that they're that dangerous. Like the fact that that is really pretty savage.
It says it's rare. It says it's rare. It's like
did you know
that are more dangerous. But I do want to throw this in because you brought this up, and I came across this kind of on accident. I came across an article on Den of the Geek, and they have an article about the top resources for paranormal news and whatnot, and we did not make that list.
Well, they're wrong then.
Right, like
they're wrong.
Okay, who's writing them and telling them? We have the news that matters.
Did you know that you should always drink apple juice?
You tell why?
Because OJ will kill you.
Oh my
God! Yeah, we're gonna have to write them. This article was written in December 20th of 2022, and the realm is not on it.
Well, we are becoming more popular since we've acquired two fine guest hosts, or not co-hosts now, in Rob and Brian. I mean, we're like shooting up the charts, I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna be. We're gonna.
I think we're gonna.
How far can you go on a little bit of personality and charm? Pretty far, I guess. Right?
I think so. I mean,
the only way up is up.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Well, these stories were great, but I feel like I'm gonna have nightmares about emus now. Like, no joke.
That'd be a tough one.
I have had dreams recently about aliens, like extraterrestrials, matrix glitches. So I'm like, I've been doing so much research for our podcast that it's now starting to spill over into my restful slumber time. So
now, do you find that, like, if you take like anything to help you sleep or medication before you go to bed, do you find that it changes your dream state? Like, do you have nightmares? Do you have more vivid dreams? Do you have stuff like that? Do you find that or no?
I haven't really taken any medication to go to sleep much in my life. I mean, I have a few times, and the few times I did, yes, I feel like it altered like my dream state.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been quite a few years since I've taken anything at all to go to sleep. I mean, pretty long time, but in the past, yes. What I do find is, depending on what meditation I do before bed, like sometimes that can really affect, because like if I like meditate where I'm like, I want to gain clarity in my sleep and I want answers to come to me for things that I'm facing or whatever. And I do really do that. Sometimes I have the strangest funky dreams that I have no idea what they mean. And I'm like, I asked for clarity, not a riddle. Like,
yeah, right.
I need clarity, not a riddle.
Yeah, I was just curious because Jenny says that when she takes different things like melatonin or something like that, she says, "Oh, I can't take that because then I have bad dreams." I'm like, interesting.
Yeah,
I'm prescribed I have take a prescription for sleeping medication, and it's take 1 to 2, and if I take 2, it's way too much, and I'm groggy for like 3 days. But if I vary it between like 1.5 and 1.25, yeah, I have way more vivid dreams. Otherwise, I don't even feel like I ever dream. I just feel, I guess, I just don't go deep enough into sleep to actually dream. That's probably why I nap so much. But nonetheless, my question for you, Gina, is you've been having these dreams about aliens and whatnot. Are they just like random dreams?
Oh my God. Do you guys want to hear my dream? Do you want
me
I want to hear one, because what I've always
trying to get ratings here. Come on.
There was a story about Dan Aykroyd, who's very much believes in UFOs.
We should get him on our show. You know that, right?
Dude, he is super into it. He's super into it. And I seen an interview with him where he was sleeping, and I cannot remember. I wasn't prepared for this conversation. I remember where it is that he lives, but he woke up hysterical and kept saying that they want me to go out there and see him. They want me to come out there and go outside and see them. And his wife had to calm him down, put him back to sleep. And the next day there was a mass UFO sighting in that area where he lived.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
So that's why I was curious. Were they telling you to go outside, check them out?
But okay, this dream is so messed up. So just bear with me. It is so incredibly messed up. So, I had a dream that I found out that my purpose was to facilitate communication between humankind and extraterrestrial kind. And so I was like a translator, or like like a mediator, go between. And our society was in like massive turmoil, so much fighting, with all the fighting going on right now and everything being so bad here, in this country, everything's so polarized. So I think that probably influenced my dream a bit. But so it was similar to that. So like our society was on the verge of collapse. So they decided to come down to intervene to help us. And when they came here, that's when I found out that like I was actually born to like be the facilitator between the two species, I guess, or whatever. And so I was invited to this like room, like kind of at some place similar to what you would think maybe the Pentagon would look like. So it was like this building. I get to the building and we go up on like this. There's this green spinning vortex in the middle of, so I didn't see the vortex, like, how the realm is thing where I'm looking in it this way, just imagine it this way. So it's like going in this direction. So it was like a large green wall, and there was the scaffolding basically that was kind of built all the way around it. And so these extraterrestrial beings who looked very human-like were, some of them were already living here, like living on this planet as humans.
Oh, that's happening right now.
So they were around this thing, and they were like, kind of like, how they push buttons in the air on Star Trek and stuff, as if they got a computer that just manifests in midair. So they were doing this on this green circle, like they were programming, like, because basically we were a program or a simulation, almost like our life could be altered by them reprogramming something in this green vortex. And so all these people are arguing about what needed to be fixed in this room. And so these visitors were trying so hard to like keep up with everybody's demands to save the planet. And everybody's arguing. And finally I said, wait, just stop. And I'm like, this is going to sound super hokey, but was what my dream was. I said, we just need to love each other. Like, we just need to stop fighting and love each other. That's literally what I said in this dream. And one of them looked at me and telepathically said, that's all we needed to hear. That's all you needed to say. Because I was trying to translate what everybody was trying to say over to them. And I said, it just sounds like we're all fighting. We just need to love each other. And whenever they said that's all you needed to say, all of them backed up from this green vortex. One remained at the green spinning vortex, and they plugged in a few things. And then all of a sudden it was like this bright light, and I could see these symbols written into this green thing, and these symbols started popping up everywhere, and then just like everything started to harmonize around us, and then I woke up. That was my dream.
You didn't ask him to stop meat rain?
I did not ask him to stop meat rain. I just said, love me.
Well, and now that you say that, Rob, it's interesting that back in the 1860s and stuff, when that happened, they weren't blaming something like that.
Right. Yeah.
That they weren't reaching for some type of paranormal situation like they did with everything else, and they like the witch trials and everything. Just because people are different or something weird happens, it's supposed to be the devil. It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be a doomsday message, whatever. So it's interesting that when Gina spoke about her story, that they sent it off and scientists decided it was this and that. It was, right. I mean, that's kind of surprising, actually.
Right. Well, I can't believe there was people that actually tasted the meat. That's just freaking disgusting.
Right, especially after you said that there was possibly a bacteria. So now I picture like these dark slime balls, and they were like, it's meat. Let's try it. Tastes like bear.
They're actually, what I forgot to mention is they're actually still a sample of the meat inside of this beaker jar. I will post it on the website for everybody to see. I mean, not on the website, but on our Facebook page for everybody to see. It's pretty interesting.
And I'm still questioning how many vultures are actually in a kettle. Because, I mean, for that to happen and actually
right,
clean that much for it to be a situation.
You say that, Rob. Now I'm thinking back. Wasn't there a cartoon with vultures and they were always standing around a kettle and they were doing something?
What is that?
I remember a cartoon somewhere where I've seen that image, and I wonder if that was some type of way of getting at that. That's what a group of vultures are called, as a kettle. I wonder.
Oh, because that maybe. Okay, but I'll have to go back to my dream because I gave you guys that whole dream and there was no reaction. I'm feeling a little.
Okay.
Oh, well.
No, I did give you a reaction.
And I'm eating my dinner, so.
Right, I know, and you're making me hungry. I don't even know what you're eating. Sky meat. I don't know emu. I don't know what you're eating, but I'm hungry.
Culver's. I'm eating Culver's. Kez was nice enough to get me dinner. I've been working. I had a class that I was teaching today. So I've been going since 7 a.m. and I have not eaten. So I'm starving. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I digress. I want to hear more.
No. Do tell. What are you going to say?
No, I just want to hear more about my dream. What do you think?
I think it's interesting. I think that it speaks to, like you said, kind of things that are going on around us right now. I mean, nobody can seem to get along. I mean, and it's easy to sit and say that, why can't we just everybody get along? It it seems like every day you just hear nothing but bad news and everybody's fighting about something. And it's just ridiculous. So I wonder if maybe somewhere that's how that dream stemmed, is just from everything that's going around us. And somehow your subconscious took that and
made me an alien whisperer.
Right. But okay. So whenever I have a dream, I try to analyze it a lot to see what may have happened in my day that may have caused that, or was I thinking? Did I watch a movie? Did somebody say something? Do you have any of that happen that day? Did you?
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of this dream wasn't too long ago, and that was just kind of coming off of having a whole month full of UFO news. So that could be it. That could very well be it.
Or maybe you are the messenger and you're supposed to preach love.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm an alien whisperer that preaches love.
It's kind of cool.
On my business
That's cool. That's right.
It's going on my business card. Well, guys, this was a great episode. Thank you so much for your news stories. We did good.
Yep.
So if anybody out there has any weird news stories of their own in their area, you see it published in newspaper, find it online, send it our way. connectedrealm@gmail.com.
If you have a ghost or specter, contact us, connectedrealm.com.
Why?
Why should investigators?
Or you could send an email to Den of the Geek and tell them that we are a very validated and important source of paranormal news.
You're going to be hearing about the realm for a long time to come. I think we got big things coming down the road, and hopefully we'll be able to announce some stuff here shortly after we iron out a few things between us. But good things happening here. So if you have anything, like I said, connectedrealm@gmail.com.
Yep.
Reach out.
Get a hold of us, and maybe we'll even have you on the show, whether it's for our single episode that we have every other Monday, and we also do our weird news every Wednesday. So thanks again, guys, and until next time, see ya.
Peace out.
Ciao.